A young man from Frisco was identified as the Texas A&M sophomore who died during the weekend from an apparent drug overdose. Anton Gurdneff was a member of the Sigma Nu fraternity. He was found unresponsive during a party early Saturday morning. 4 young men at the fraternity house were arrested on drug charges. Fox 4's James Rose in the newsroom with how dangerous combinations of drugs police say they found.
Well, Clarice, an addiction counselor we talked to said the combined variety of drugs found in the frat house would be considered a potentially lethal combination if mixed together. Now, College Station police say they recovered small amounts of marijuana, THC, ecstasy, methamphetamines, and LSD. The person who called 911 just before 5 a.m. Saturday morning told police 19-year-old Anton Gurdneff was suffering from an overdose from some kind of opioid. Members of the fraternity on campus were not talking. Investigators say the primary focus is on the death of Gurdneff, but more charges could be coming against the other fraternity members if warranted. Now, longtime drug addiction counselor Veronica Sites says opioids have become more popular because they're so very inexpensive. But she also warns they're extremely powerful and addictive, and sometimes even the first use of it could be the last.
What's getting worse is the experimentation, and because, drugs are drugs as far as the impact that it has on people. But when you've got different cartels that they're just mixing all kinds of, fillers, any type of, toxic ingredients on top of the fact that it's already an opioid.
Now, Gurdneff attended Heritage High in Frisco and graduated in 2015 with honors. In a statement, Principal Mark Mims called him a valued member of our academic decathlon team and an integral member of that team's success. Anton had a lasting impact on the teachers who worked with him, and he had a bright future ahead of him. Now, the Sigma Nu chapter at Texas A&M has ceased its own activities for the time being. As noted in a statement initially, they said investigators they'll be making any decisions in the future once they learn more from investigators and the university completes their investigation, and all that will come at the appropriate time. And we were not able to reach anyone from Gurdneff's family for comment. Clarice?
James, thank you. A student from Frisco was identified as the Texas A&M sophomore who died from an apparent drug overdose. That young man was rushed to the hospital early Saturday morning from a fraternity house party. Fox 4's James Rose in the newsroom with the dangerous combinations of drugs police say they found.
Well, Clarice, it may be several weeks before we know the specific cause of death. A drug counselor we talked to today said the wide variety of drugs confiscated from this frat house is disturbing, and mixing some of these drugs can be dangerous and even deadly. Signs of a party were evident outside the Sigma Nu fraternity house Saturday morning. Just before 5 a.m., someone called 911 saying 19-year-old Anton Gurdneff was unconscious inside the front door, believed to be suffering from an opioid overdose. He was pronounced dead at a hospital. College Station police searched the fraternity house and seized a variety of narcotics ranging from marijuana to ecstasy, THC, meth, and LSD. 4 of the fraternity brothers were arrested for drug possession charges. Investigators say their focus will be on the death of Gurdneff, who was a sophomore and had just moved into the frat house this semester. As a student at Heritage High in Frisco, Gurdneff was a 2015 honor graduate and also a National Merit semifinalist. Principal Mark Mims says Gurdneff was a valued member of the academic decathlon team and an integral member of that team's success. Anton had a lasting impact on the teachers who worked with him, and he had a bright future ahead of him.
It can get you a cheap high, and it can cost you your life.
Longtime drug counselor Veronica Sites says opioids are cheap, powerful, addictive, and extremely dangerous. While we don't know specifically what kind of opioid may have been involved, Sites says the range of other drugs found in the frat house is alarming.
A very broad range, a cocktail, if you will, of selections, and if any of those combinations, any were used in combination, that only accelerates the risk factor for a user, whether it's one-time user, first-time user.
Now, the Sigma Nu chapter at Texas A&M has ceased its own activities for the time being. We have not been able to reach anyone with the Gurdneff family for comment. Clarice?
James, thank you.